Measuring application performance. This is one of the biggest issues that I think you're going to run into that's the hardest to do. End-to-end visibility is one of the cornerstones of what you are managing and troubleshooting a network. But do you have visibility to all that? No. And a lot of your applications, as I said earlier, you don't have full visibility to all ends. So how do you do it? Well, again, you have to set profiles. You have to manage that, define that traffic very effectively. And again, that's physical and logical, and you have to look at it from that perspective, and you have to work at it real hard. This is real hard to do, but you can do it, and with some of the tools that we've been using. Is this simple to do? No. It takes time. It takes a lot of manpower. I mean, that's what we do at Time Data. We work at this all the time with our clients. We constantly are looking at their networks. We're constantly changing thresholds. We're constantly looking at the patterns. And when we see alarms, we call them. We find out what's going on. And it's an iterative process to do that. You have to continually monitor and go through this to optimize this effectively. That's one of the things we bring to the table. Let's look at some case studies. The first one I'm going to talk about is a telco of a customer complaining about voice quality over an LD carrier. First thing we did, we looked at their local traffic and looked at it because they had VoIP coming in over the local traffic. Did not appear to be any issue there. We evaluated the internet. We looked at delays, route delays, multiple hops. We looked for any excessive packets. We looked for anything on that. We didn't see anything in that there. So what we did is we did some packet capturing, and because this is one of those end-to-end delay issues that we were trying to resolve. What did we find? We found several rejected packets that the user at the end was getting rejected packets. We tried to go back to the carrier and the company decided to change to another carrier, so we didn't get it resolved. But we did find that it was on their end and not on the end of the company. First thing we looked at was jitter. Jitter was okay. It didn't appear to have a problem, but what we found was the end receiver device was rejecting the packets that were coming in, and so something within those packets the end user device didn't like and caused the problem. Slow intermittent response time. Another problem we see, this is a DSL customer using PPPoE. The customer complained about slow response time during certain periods of the day. Looked at the network appeared to be functioning correctly. No malicious activity was on the network. Detailed analysis uncovered a problem on the router. And the problem was when the traffic, certain users got on the network at certain times, the interface discards exceeded a very high level at that time, causing the ATM to throw away those packets. During that time, that correlated to the time of when they had when users would slow down and have poor access. How do we resolve that? We resolved that by adding some bandwidth to some of those users. It was a Band-Aid to fix it, but we were able to add some bandwidth to those users. The discard package dropped away, and everybody worked out real well. Here's another one, IPTV issue. Customer was complaining that the video on some of the channels were disappearing for a brief period of time. What was the problem? We couldn't see, and since it was an intermittent problem, and it only occurred at certain times of the day, we had to resort to starting to collect traffic, look at the feeds, look at them, and monitor the specific channels. What did we find? Well, we found on one interface card on a feed, on one of the feeds to another DSL device that was actually what happened was on this interface we saw a dip, And of course, it initiated an alarm to us at a specific time. We looked at that router, it looked at the logs on that router, and what we found was on that particular interface, the memory went into reset, causing the system to drop out for a brief second, reset itself, come back up, and actually start operating. They replaced that card and that unit, and they haven't had a problem since then.